Hello students, so today we will start with our new chapter, that is area of parallelograms and triangles. In the previous classes you have learnt about the congruency, about various types of quadrilaterals and their properties also. So let's now first of all discuss with a quadrilateral. Suppose A and B, these are two quadrilaterals, right? If these two quadrilaterals are congruent, quadrilateral A is congruent to quadrilateral B, so what else will be same in this case will be the area of both these two quadrilaterals. Again, let us take an example. Let's suppose if I draw a parallelogram, right? Suppose this A, B, C, D, this is a parallelogram, and we very well know that the diagonals of a parallelogram divides it into two congruent triangles, right? So this diagonal AC will divide this parallelogram ABCD into two congruent triangles, that is triangle ABC and triangle CDA. By any congruency, we are not talking about by which congruency these two triangles will be congruent. Just we are saying that these two triangles, triangle 1 and triangle 2, these two will be congruent. Now if these two triangles are congruent, what else will be common in both these triangles will be their areas. So I can say area of triangle ABC will be equals to area of triangle ADC, right, if these two triangles are congruent. Now let us talk about the converse of this thing, right? That means if the areas are also equal, is the figure going to be congruent or not? So it is not necessary that if the area of the figure is congruent, so they will be congruent also, right? If the areas are equal, it is not compulsory that those two figures will be congruent to each other. Now say figure 9.2. In figure 9.2, the area of this rectangle is 36 meter square, as well as the area of this square is also 36 meter square. The areas are same in both the cases, but clearly you can see that these two figures, these are not congruent. So it is not necessary that two figures are having same area, they will be congruent. This is not necessary at all. Now second thing, suppose that we are given a figure. Let us talk about this rectangle only, right? So if I draw a line which divides this rectangle into two parts, and let us name this point as E and this point as F, right? So the area of the quadrilateral AEFD, that means this area, and area of quadrilateral BCFE, that means this one, right? So the sum of the areas of these two quadrilaterals will be equal to the area of whole quadrilateral or the whole rectangle in this case. Alright, this is the third thing that we need to note, right? First one was if the figures are congruent, if two figures are congruent, then their areas will definitely be the same. And second thing was the converse of this, that it is not compulsory that if the areas of the two figures are equal, then those two figures will be congruent also. The third one was that if we are given any figure and if we divide that figure with the help of a line, then the sum of the areas of those two portions will be equal to the area of whole figure, right? Now let us see about the quadrilaterals or the polygons lying on the same base. What does that mean? And the polygons lying between the same two parallel lines. What does these two statements means? Suppose if I draw a triangle, let's say. Alright, if I have drawn a triangle here, say this is A, this is B, and this is C, right? And if I draw another triangle taking BC as the base, and I draw it like this, and I draw it like this and name it as D. So clearly you can see that these two triangles are having same base, that is BC, right? Now if I say if I say that we are drawing a triangle which are not having the same base, right, but they are lying in between the same parallel lines, right? This and this, if I say that this is our parallel lines, this is the level of parallel lines, so we can say that these two triangles are lying between the same parallel lines, right, but they are not sharing the common base. So this is the meaning of any polygon lying under the same base and between same parallel. Suppose now let us talk about let us mix these things together. So this is our triangle, again this is A, B and C, and again this is our another triangle which is D, and again this is our another triangle, let us say this is point is E, and these are lying under the same parallel lines, right? This let us name them as L and M, right? If these three triangles are sharing same base, that is base AB, right, and these three triangles are also lying in between the same two parallel lines, that is line M and line M, which are parallel. So L is parallel to M. So this is the meaning of a polygon lying under the same base and between the same parallel lines. Now it can be any polygon. Let us now suppose talk about a quadrilateral, right? So suppose this is a parallelogram and this one is another parallelogram. It will be somewhat like this. So this is A, B, C, D and E, F. So we have two parallelograms here, that is ABCD and ABFE. These are the two parallelograms that lie on the same base and between same two parallel lines. Can be any quadrilateral. Right, now why do we need to study about the polygons lying under these criteria? It becomes important because of some properties that will help us, or that will allow us to solve some very difficult problems in an easy manner. Suppose let us say that if two parallelograms lie on the same base and between same two parallel lines, then what benefit we are going to get is the area of both these parallelograms will be equal, right? Even though these two parallelograms might not be congruent, but if they lie under the same parallel lines and on the same base, then their areas will become equal. This is the importance of this method, or you can say importance of this procedure. Okay, so in the next lecture, in the next video, we will be discussing about the proof of this thing that we have just discussed. Until This exercise 9.1 is based on completely the parallelograms lying on the same base and between same parallels.